Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I read 16 books in the month of July. It was a great month, most of which were romances. Listen, July 27th is my anniversary, and so I was in my feels. I was in the most loving mood. It was a great month. I had 2 trips that month, so it was honestly such a great time. I absolutely love July. So let's start with the books that aren't romances. That might be easier. I read The It Girl by Ruth Ware, and this one, I don't even really remember what it was about. Hold on, let me think. So I like this one. I didn't love it. I liked it better than the one I read last month, I think, by her, One by One, I think. It's a dual timeline, so we follow now and like maybe 10 years in the past, and it was good. It just wasn't keeping my interest, but I don't know, I didn't know who it was, so there's that, but I liked it, thought it was good. I read The Silent Wife by Karen Slaughter, and this one is probably, I think, my least favorite Karen Slaughter book. I think. Like, don't get me wrong, she writes really dark thrillers. It can be real dark. Like, Pretty Girls was not for the faint of heart. It was very dark, very graphic. I almost felt like it was too graphic, Pretty Girls was. But this one was just meh. Like, because we were just following a case that happened in the past and how they may have mishandled it, and the wrong person may or may not have gotten convicted. It just was blah to me. There was like a little bit of a subplot of romance, and even that was just kind of like meh. So yeah, definitely my least favorite Karen Slaughter book thus far. Sorry, Karen. I read The Lake Escape by Jamie Day. This one actually published last month. It published in July, I think. July, I forgot, honestly. I want to say July 17th or the 20 something. I don't remember what day it published. It doesn't say here. Oh, it says it right here. July 15th is when it published. I read this one and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good thriller. You know, some friends go away for a lake escape and somebody goes missing. I thought it was good. It was lighthearted, I want to say. It wasn't very dark and it wasn't super suspenseful, but I thought the book overall was written well and I enjoyed that. I'm not sure if it's her debut novel. I don't think so, but it was good. I think I gave it a 4 or a 4.5. I don't remember, but I actually really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. And then I read Blood and Water by Tiffany D. Jackson, and Tiffany writes YA thrillers. And I think this one is middle grade, and it read as such. I would say if it isn't middle grade, if it's YA, this was definitely one that was very more for kids. I would say it's geared more towards children. I think the main character is like 15, 16 or something like that. I believe so. It was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was good. It was a good little, not so much thriller, I would say a good little mystery of who done it. And so not bad, but definitely I would say geared more towards the younger generation more so. Yeah. I also read Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, and I did not like that one at all. I didn't like the way it was written, like the way the story was told. I didn't like that. I thought the plot was mediocre at best. Oh my God, that sounds so mean, but I really just didn't like it. The only reason I read that book to its entirety was because it was very short, a very short read. It almost felt to me like Paul wanted to make an actual movie, but didn't know how to like playwright it. And so he wrote it in the form of like a book I don't know. It just was not good to me. My review on Goodreads, and I usually do like an in-depth review mostly. Sometimes I don't have any words and I'm just like, that's it, the stars, or I enjoy this. But my review on there was literally, no, just no. That was literally my review. So, And lastly, for the thrillers, I read Before I Met You by Lisa Jewell. And Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite thriller authors. Like, her books are here, and I've read some that aren't there as well. And so I really love her, and I'm going to read almost everything she writes. But I did not really care for this one as well. And I'm realizing now I'm saying a lot of I didn't care for when I said it was a good month. I know. Just hold on. But I didn't really care for this one too much. This one was another dual timeline. And I don't think I always loved like the past and the present. I don't know, like it was okay. It was not very thrilling, you know? Nothing happened really. It was just a mystery of like who someone was. And I read another book by her like that. What was it? The Truth About Melody Brown. We were trying to figure out who Melody Brown really is. And in this book, we were trying to figure out who, I forgot her name, Clara, I believe is. And I'm just realizing like that type of books, or maybe like the style that she writes those books, are not my fave. And so I just didn't really care for it. I think I gave it a 3 on Goodreads. It wasn't bad. It was just not one of my favorites. And again, because she's one of my favorite thriller authors, I hold her to a higher regard. So I'm gonna rate her books a lot tougher than I would rate someone where I don't really know their work, if that makes sense. Because I know your potential. And I'm not saying it was a terrible good book. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't feeling it. It was okay. It was okay. And then I think that is all the thrillers that I read. So every other book I read was a romance. And let's get into it. I read Flock by Kate Stewart. Ange actually sent this to me, so thank you, Ange. And I thought that was so nice. But she read it, and then she quickly went on to the second book. And so she sent me this one. And then I read it, and I liked the spice. I thought the book was spicy. I thought that was good. There were just some things I didn't care about in this book. It was okay. Middle for me. I think I gave it a 3 or 3.5 on Goodreads, but it was okay. Like, there were some things I really liked, and then there were some things I didn't like. Like, what was it? She spent time making dinner for him. He came home late for something, and he didn't call her, didn't let her know that he was gonna come home late. She was kind of upset about it because she wanted it to be a special dinner. And so he like kind of turned it into a thing about him. And I mean, don't get me wrong, whatever he went through, he was dealing with and she wasn't aware. But it was how he reacted to her saying, look, I was just a little bit upset. I'm sorry, I didn't know. He like took the food out of the fridge, ate some, and he was like, here, you happy? I'll never cook for you again. Ever. Okay? You will never see me cooking for you again. And then there was a moment where he doesn't believe in like technology around him. Like, he doesn't want her to be on his phone around him. And he was like, oh, it's not in a controlling way. It's just like, I want your attention on me. Valid. He broke her Apple Watch. And I was like, she talked about how he's like very kind and she liked that about him. And I was like, I'm not seeing kind. Like, I'm seeing a guy who is a little bit abusive and you're not seeing it. But it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm definitely gonna read the second book because Ange said the second book is what made her like, you know, emotional. And she didn't really like the main characters either, but she said everybody had a story to tell. So I'm definitely gonna move forward with the book. I just didn't think he was a good guy in here at all. I thought he was a little bit abusive. Yeah. And I read Archer's Voice. I liked this book a lot. Now, I would say I love this book actually. It didn't get a 5-star for me, but that's only because like I thought like the story of Archer was beautiful, and I think this is a romance, and so I think I wanted more romance. I don't know if that makes sense, but I thought it was good. Archer doesn't speak, and he is signing with her, and I thought that was beautiful. I've never read a book where they are using ASL, and so it was beautiful to see, and I thought his story beautiful. Okay, I think I gave it a 4.5. Yeah, I thought it was a well-written book. I just wanted more romance from them. They definitely got their groove on in here. It was, there was some spice, but romance doesn't always mean spice. I wanted more. That was it. But I thought it was a great book. I really did. I enjoyed this one. I see why people talk about it so much. It gave me, I don't remember, but it gave me like a vibe of something I've seen before. Something I've seen, like a movie I've watched. I don't remember, but it gave me that vibe, and it was like, ugh, beautiful. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And because we were in the thick of it, in the thick of summer, I read Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. This is my second book by Megan Quinn, and Megan is nasty. I'm just kidding. Honestly, if this was another book that was spicy, I will say it definitely wasn't as spicy as the one I read prior, which was How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It wasn't as spicy, but it was good. This book had me laughing out loud. I was literally giggling. I was like, man, I forget how funny she is. Like, I haven't read her book since like last year, December. And so I was like, this is hilarious. Like, she writes like Emily Henry to me. They are witty, and I absolutely love that, and I will eat it up every time. If you make me physically laugh out loud in a book, you're getting 5 stars. I'm sorry, I don't care. I gave this book 5 stars. If you read it and you didn't feel the same way, it's fine. But again, if you make me physically, if I have any reactions literally out loud, if you make me cry, I've never had a book make me cry, but if there was a book to make me cry, it would get 6 stars. It would get 6 stars. So a book that makes me laugh out loud like multiple times, like like Kiki, 5 stars. And again, this was fake marriage. Y'all know how I feel about a fake dating. Ooh, it's gonna do it every time. I don't think I've read a fake dating book that was lower than a 4. But anyway, I really enjoyed this one. I did. And you know what the best part about it is? It's signed by Megan Quinn with my name in it. And then I also read The End of Summer by KJ Machichi, and this one was good too. I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave it a 4.5, and I'm like over here like blushing at this point with these books, but I really enjoyed this one. She gets fired from her job as a waitress, or well, she worked at a pub, but then they needed a waiter upstairs in the restaurant, and they told her she needed to wear heels. She don't normally wear heels, so she fell and like spilled something on like a celebrity client, so they let her go. She went to work at this like pole dancing place as a shot girl, and oh my god, it's so cute. I loved all the ways her and Brady connected in here. Like, there were so many ways that their lives connected and they did not know. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this book, okay? There was a lot of references to 90s music or early 2000s music. I really enjoyed this. She did her big one. And you know what? You know what else is good about this book? You know what else? It's signed by her. Period. I enjoyed it. I'm like really over here blushing at these books. Oh my goodness. I also read my first hockey romance. I read Consider Me by Becca Mack, and I really enjoyed that book. With a caveat. Why the hell was that book so long? I messaged Ange because she actually recommended that book to me. I told her, recommend a hockey romance to me. She recommended that book. And I said, Ange, I loved the book. I enjoyed it so much. But why the fuck was it so long? I said, you know what the issue was? Is that I think it's because they got together relatively close to the beginning of the book. Okay? Now, I think if it was more of a slow burn and there was yearning and there was like that lust, I would have liked it a lot more. But they got together relatively, I mean, don't get me wrong. She made him put in a little bit of work, but it was the tiniest bit of work. I wanted her to hold out some more, okay? She made him do a little bit of work to get her. And then once he got her, we were just watching them go on dates. It felt so long, and I was like, don't get me wrong, I love a love story, I love love, right? But if I'm recounting my life or my love story with my husband to you, I'm not gonna tell you every date we ever went on. And that's what it felt like. It felt like I was watching every date these couples ever went on. There was no alluding to anything. Everything was set out into the open. There was a little bit of drama towards the end that felt like unnecessary drama. Like, instead of like clearing something up for her, he watched her cry. Like, he watched her cry, and he knew that what she thought wasn't the truth, but instead of just saying it, he was like, oh, I can't speak. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. But anywho, let me rein it in. Let me rein it in. But I actually really I think his name is Cole. I liked Cole. I liked them together. I thought they worked. I loved how she softened him. But my God, that book was literally like 150 pages too long. I think it was like 480 something pages, and it was definitely like 150 pages too long. I would have gave that book 5 stars, I think. Mind you, it's very easy for me to give a book 5 stars, okay? Or at least 4.5. But I probably would have gave it 5 stars had that book not been so ridiculously long. Anywho, I read Capone 2, and Capone 3 this month. So I read all of season 1 in the Delgado family. I think that's what their last name is. I enjoyed this one. And don't get me wrong, Capone is not my type of guy, right? Kennedy Ryan writes the kind of guys that I like, right? So Capone, he's for the streets. He's out there. Well, not for the streets. He's in the streets, I should say, because he was very faithful. So he's not for the streets. He's in the streets. It's not my kind of guy. But I really enjoyed that book. Those books, I really enjoyed it. I literally am someone who don't read series back to back, and I read that one. I read those back to back to back. I'm not kidding. I was eating it up, okay? I was eating it up. Now, I want a physical copy, but the books are like $20 each, and I was like, it might be a little bit more than $20 each, to be honest. But I ate it up. I did like how, even though he was in the streets and he was about that life, when it came to his woman, he was very much, he gonna do whatever it needs to be done for her, whatever. So I enjoyed that. I ate it up. I can't wait to read Capadonna, a story, and then Capri's story. So I'm excited to get into season 2 and season 3 of the Delgado family. I had fun. And then lastly, I read Twisted Games. I read Twisted Games by Anna Huang, and I think I actually enjoyed this one a lot more than Twisted Love, which I read like 2 years ago or something like that. Do I even have that book? Oh, I do have it. And so I read Twisted Games. I enjoyed it. It gave me Princess Diaries vibes. Like, all I kept thinking in my head was when Mia, it was her name in Princess Diaries, found out that she was a princess and she was gonna be a queen, and she was like, shut up! Like, that's all I kept thinking about, because she was not ready. She was not ready to be a queen. She was not. And I thought it was cute. I love that he was her bodyguard. And I knew where it was gonna end. I knew where it was gonna end, okay? I'm not telling y'all. But I knew what happened would happen. I didn't know how it would play out, like what the relation, but I knew. And I really enjoyed it. It was fun. You know, once the spice got going, it was spicing. But I enjoyed that book. I enjoyed most of the romances I read, actually. Yeah, for sure. I think the only book I rated lower than a 3, the only book I rated lower than a 3 on Goodreads was Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. And I'm telling you, I'm very generous when it comes to giving stars, but that one was just a no for me. It was a no. I hope I showed you guys all 16 books. I think I did. So I forgot. I also read A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson, and that one was not bad. It was a gay romance. I liked the chef. I like the food inspiredness of it. I thought it was punny, right? Because a salt and pepper. There was one, he was older, and I think they talked about his hair being a little gray. So it was like a play on that, but also a play on the food, because he was a chef. One of the guys is a chef. I really enjoyed that one. I saw some reviews on Goodreads that said they were missing the chef's POV, because it was told entirely from one, I forgot his name, one of the guys' POV solely, and so they were missing both. I didn't mind it. I didn't, but it was good. It wasn't bad. Wasn't one of my favorites, but it wasn't bad. It was good. It was a cute little food romance. It reminded me of Food Network just a little bit, and I have a soft spot for Food Network, so I enjoyed it. Anyway, those are the books that I read in the month of July. What was your favorite read of this month? Honestly, I don't even know what my favorite read of this month was. I think it was this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. I think this is the only book I gave 5 stars, and honestly, because it had me giggling, kicking my feet up, and I felt the tension between them. I felt the oohs, the ahs, you know, but that's probably it. Everything got close. Everything was like mostly a 4 to a 4.5, apart from the ones that I specifically said was not. But yeah, what was your favorite read of the month? If you've read any of the books I've read, let me know how you felt about them. Even if it's bad, even if you hated them, you can tell me. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. It might. It just might. I'm just kidding. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Happy reading. See you guys in the next one. Bye.